So the Five Nights at Freddy's movie came out last week to mixed receptions. The critics loved it, but well, actually no. The critics hated it. The people loved it. The critics gave it a very low score. The people that watched it actually enjoyed it pretty much wholesale. I would say that the critics are wrong 100%, but the fans are a little bit too exuberant for this one. I don't believe it's a perfect movie. I don't think it's high 80s. I think it's 85 or maybe 86 out of 10. Or, well, no, 86 out of 100, 8.6 out of 10, or 8.5 out of 10. There you go. That's the at least that's what my opinion is. The ending ended a little bit too abruptly. I think there is no logical through line at the very end, though I understand why all of the pieces were taken off the board. Though the money situation by the very end still hasn't changed for Mike, which is why I think it should have gotten a little longer just to explain how he could continue any sort of lifestyle now that the location is ruined. The story beats go from he gets fired from a previous security gig at a mall, goes to a career counselor, Steve Raglan. Steve Raglan is what he calls himself. And Steve Raglan gives Mike a chance to work a night shift. Mike uh, well, turns it down because he can't. He has a younger sister that he has to look out for, and if he works the night shift, then it might be a bit irresponsible and dangerous to leave her at home at night without any supervision, adult supervision. But after he gets a red notice by I think the county or maybe the city for some bills that he has to pay or whatever, he has to accept the job. So he goes back to Steve. Offers him a job at the Freddy's location. He goes to the Freddy's location as a security guard, puts on a pair of headphones, and then falls asleep promptly at the start of his shift. And well, actually, no, I think he looks around the place first. Then he goes into his office and then promptly falls asleep after bumping into Balloon Boy. He uses this theory called dream theory to try to get all the information about a time in his past where his younger brother, not younger sister, his younger brother got kidnapped by some random guy. Mike believes he still remembers who the guy is. He just has to redream the same dream over and over again to get that information out from the back of his mind. And in the location, those dreams start to change because the missing children from the missing children's incident start showing up. After a while, he confronts the Foxy, or the child that possesses Foxy, the animatronic, and then the child in his dream slashes his hand. He wakes up from the dream, and there's a gash on his arm. And it's very implied that the animatronic actually came into his office and slashed his hand, and that coincided with the child doing it in the dream. Then he bumps into Vanessa, which treats his wound, and Vanessa is a police officer. Later, we find out that she actually helps William Afton cover up a lot of the death that happened in the pizzeria, which is why she works for the police so she could like cover up the reports and stuff like that. That's the important bit. And then she explains the animatronics. Mike goes home for I think this is the second night. Then we get a cameo from Matt Pat at a Sparky's Diner, which is another Easter egg for the game. And this is where the aunt hires out the babysitter and her friends to go and trash the Five Nights at Freddy's, or the Freddy's location. Five Nights at Freddy's is the game. Trash the Freddy's location so that they could fire Mike, the people that own the restaurant could fire Mike for not doing his job properly, and then Mike will not have a job on the paperwork when they go to court over the custody battle because Aunt wants to have custody over Abby. After all of that, the group of thugs break into the Five Nights at Freddy's pizzeria location, the Freddy's Pizzeria, and Chica kills, I think, the first one. Bonnie does the second one. Foxy does the third one, and Freddy, I think, kills the last person, which is the babysitter. And now Mike doesn't have a babysitter, so he's gonna have to bring Abby to the Freddy's location. This causes Abby to befriend the animatronics. After Vanessa sees that that happened, Vanessa tells Mike not to bring Abby to the location anymore because of the spring locks that are stored in the parts and service room, or yeah, the parts and service room at the back of the Freddy's Pizzeria. And so Mike decides to hire uh, Abby's aunt to become the babysitter while he goes to the location. Mike goes to the location, bargains with the missing children. Golden Freddy comes to Mike's house, kills the aunt, and then brings Abby to the location, which then Golden Freddy hands off the hands off Abby to Chica. Chica brings Abby to the back room, and they want to stuff her into the Ella doll, which is something that is shown in, I think, one of the main books, the main trilogy. But I could be wrong. It could be in the Fazbear Frights book. There's so many books, and I'm not gonna bother like refreshing myself off of all of the lore. So they want to stuff her inside the Ella doll to make her a permanent friend of all of the animatronics inside the pizzeria. Mike fights back after escaping the animatronics after a botched negotiation, and then he electrocutes Freddy and Bonnie, and then Night sticks Chica and the cupcake. Foxy is the only one up, going around the location hunting Abby down, while Steve Raglan, which is now revealed to be William Afton, shows up in the Golden Bonnie suit to kill Michael because poetry or something. It's very convoluted why he wants to do it, but it's something about, oh, hey, look, I did it to Garrett, which is Mike's younger brother in the scene while they were children. And then so he's like, yeah, I killed Garrett, so now I'm going to kill you, Mike. And then I also learned that you have a younger sister, Abby, so she's going to join the animatronic club forever, too. So that's that's William Afton's plan, which sounds really dumb when you put it that way. But yes, his plan is to kill all the Schmidts and make Abby into an animatronic, and the other two, I don't know what happened to Garrett, but I think he just straight up wants Mike gone. And then Mike is able to not hold his own, but stall enough time for Vanessa to come in. And it turns out Vanessa is the daughter of William Afton. And because she's a police officer, she has a firearm, shoots off the protective layering of Spring Bonnie's outer coat, which exposes the spring lock, which is very important. Then Mike tells Abby to show the animatronics what really happens here. Uh, what happened to them during the missing children's incident. So Abby draws a picture of the golden bunny killing off each one of these characters, portrayed in her own art style. And it says that, well, children can't really write and don't really know how to read. So, what they get their worldview from or their understanding from is from pictures. So, that's why when Abby switches out the pictures on the wall with the one where the golden Bonnie suit is the person killing off all the animatronics, then the animatronics remember, oh, this is what really happened. Turn against William Afton. William Afton is still boastful. And then Chica throws the cupcake at the spring lock, which triggers the spring lock failure. William Afton says the iconic line, I'll always come back, in a bit more of a cheesy way than I would have liked, but it's understandable. And Vanessa goes to hospital, is in a coma. Mike then forges a better connection with Abby since he is able to move on from the incident with Garrett, and basically he already has closure because he understands that William did that. Or William is now quote unquote dead. So he thinks William is dead, so he and Abby could move on and have like a better life. And that's what happens. They forge a better brother and sister relationship, and then they visit Vanessa from time to time. And then at the very end of the movie, there are end credits. One with Balloon Boy, and then the other one is the 8-bit voiceover from the 8-bit minigame spelling out "Come find me." Unknown if this is William Afton telling people to come find him in the back room and bring him out, or this is the puppet, because right before that, there is a music box that plays over the credits. So it could either be the puppet saying "Come find me," and that's the story of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the movie. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie, not Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the game. Will take place where the puppet is a primary player, or is it William Afton telling people to come find him and build him a Fazbear's Frights location? Unsure. Don't know if that's actually going to happen in the second movie. Don't know if the second movie is going to happen at all. But seeing the money made by this movie, it is most likely that a second movie will be made. If you are a fan of FNAF, I would recommend going to theaters and seeing it because it will be an experience with a bunch of people that know the lore, with a bunch of people that understand the story, and a bunch of people that call out the Easter eggs hidden in the movie. So it's like an event. But if you just want to see what Five Nights at Freddy's is about, and you don't spend every living hour of the day watching game theory videos or FNAF lore videos, then just watch it on Peacock because, well, I think it is a lot better than a lot of the trash being pushed out now. It's a pretty decent movie, and if you don't know Five Nights at Freddy's lore, I think you'll give it like a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. If you do know Five Nights at Freddy's lore and you're a fanatic, then you probably give it like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. If you're just a regular Freddy's enjoyer, then you'll probably get it 8.5 or something like that, which I think is the most reasonable is 8.5. Anyways, with all that being said, it's a nice movie, and I think you should make your own determinations on whether you like it or not. It does follow the books a lot more. It wraps up as quickly as the Silver Eyes did, and so if you're not ready for an abrupt ending, just go into it knowing that it's going to be very quick. Right after the climax, it's over. It's done. Boom, boom, boom. It finishes. And if you're not really a big fan of the books, then this is actually an okay movie for you because it doesn't take place in the setting of the books. and it doesn't take place in the setting of the game either. It is in the universe of FNAF, but I think just a different line, different world line, where the story takes place and unfolds a little bit differently than all of the other mediums that the story has been in. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Bye.